This is the hardest decision I have ever made. I practiced as a lawyer for 20 years, and then I decided to have a leap into the dark. Maybe sometimes I don't sleep at night at all because I have too many things rolling in my head, but I know that I can go over all the process and I can take my decisions in the right way. So even if I fail, it will be my fault.
Also, my life changed completely since I met Adrian when we started our adventure together. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Can you hear us? We can't hear you. So we will send you the 6 topics, but it's basically innovation, team building, well-being, marketing, communication, finance, and sustainability. So yeah, it's all kind of topics in there.
Okay. Great.
I was supporting startups anyway across Europe for the last 8-9 years, but I knew something was missing. And with the European Startup Association, everything fell into place.
I was traveling, across Europe to find good opportunities for my startups, investors, but also team members. And I realized that there's no something that could help me. So we decided to find the solution.
Yes, and it was a long journey. A long journey to where we are now, and it's still a long journey where we're going with all the pitching matches that we had to arrive finally at another edition of the European Startup Festival. The pitching matches are our selection process to select the startups that will pitch at the main event. So people cannot apply to pitch at the main event. People need to apply to one of the pitching matches, win one of the pitching matches, and then they will be able to pitch at the main event.
I did it the same way, but I'm happier. So why I'm happier? That's the question I need to answer.
Follow those people. Yep. Here, coffee, and I'll show you the room here. Okay. You have 10 minutes. We have someone sitting in the room who's going to time it and going to let you know when you have 2 minutes left.
Well, my name is Rodrigo. I work for Sony. We are based in Lund. We are launching an acceleration program for very early stage startups. So we are helping a couple of startups right now. I looked again and again yesterday over all the pitching on your website. So I'm looking forward to listening from you.
So I'm Thomas Black Peterson. I'm from Copenhagen. I have invested in mostly software companies that do B2B software, but also in other things that I think is cool.
I am representing Stoaf, that is a Swedish venture capital fund. And we focus on 4 areas, that's life science, advanced ICT, and also what we call advanced industrial technologies and sustainable energy. I'm very happy to be here and very excited to listen to your presentations. Okay,
Thank you very much.
We looked at some engagement statistics and we found that almost 90% of people are not engaged at work.
Just want to do one thing to make you less nervous, maybe. Okay, so we're going to all jump and dance for now. I'm going to be happy and do just shake off the stress. Okay, do this. Really, believe me, it's going to help.
So that's why we decided to start Wiser, because we want to help companies build something that actually makes people happy when they're at work.
Do this. Go crazy. No? Okay. Everything goes well. Good luck, everyone. So what we're going to do, you're going to go first.
Yes, not being the first one. And then we're like, yeah, you're the first one. And then we're like, God damn. I think when you're doing these presentations, you forget a little bit about who's in the room besides especially the judges, because those are the ones you need to catch if they're responding. So when you say something, you're like, do they laugh now?
I think what was interesting that we got really good questions more than good answers, which I think is really interesting for this phase.
So it shows that
those guys are interested because they have done the extra work and they, take the extra kind of search and so on. So that was a hint for us that, means investors would go and check the market.
And it's been good.
Did you get good feedback from them?
From the judges? Yeah, I got some questions as well, which put me a bit in a situation where I had to think a lot about my answer. Those are the best questions you can get because you learn only from what you don't expect.
Yeah, I really liked that I had a lot of time for the question. These judges were actually very interested also, so I really did like that too.
And some of the parts we were the most worried about turned out to be the ones they were like, yeah, that sounds good. Really?
That's fine. Check. We were like, no.
It's also because you know so much about your startup, and having additional questions is like you really could feel that you're committed and passionate about your idea and the startup.
They use a lot of techniques to calculate that.
Yeah. So that's internationally. It will start because having meetings, go on a region, having things close. Yeah. That we go abroad a little bit faster than we think.
Or will they stay in the other company? And is the other company a real company? Do they have revenue? Or is it just like students, we have fun company?
I think for me, Hero Site is the one who are more mature to get.
Yeah. So the winner is Hero Site.
My name is Daniel Kindstrand. I'm the founder of Hero Site, which is doing augmented reality-based education in simulation training.
You have a original, innovative and thoughtfulness product that will have a big impact and can solve a big issue that can make it a better world where we can save more lives of people.
The most relevant word that anyway is it means also for us a goal is the impact that we want to have in our society. So even though the association is open to every kind of startups in every industries, we would like to attract startups and investors that they think at the same way.
I'm Tomer.
My name is Pavel Panasiuk and I'm coming from Dynamic Air Cooling.
So my name is Mark. I study in London, King's College London, Economics and Management.
I came here initially with my startup, which was called Face.
I'm working on my startup, which is called Explore, which tries to gamify exploration. And we hope this is a concept that we can really tailor to the modern traveler.
First of all, on the positive side, we're very happy that you're here. We're a startup ourselves, if you want, so with this one, because we had our first European Startup Festival last year, which was, we think, amazing, and we had some participants over here. Thank you.
The major thing, which I think was crucial for my personal experience, was that it's different. All right, and during my first event, I mentioned that it feels like home.
For us, it's all about the individual startup, the individual investor, the individual member, let's say, of our association. And this is why we really take the time. This is the difference between everything else as well. We take the time to talk to each and every single member to understand what are their needs, what do they want to do, how can we support them.
In London, when we pitched, we also had very good feedback from the investors.
My name is Pier Paolo. I set up e-office, that's what you see here.
I'm Sam, I'm part of the Elmarks team on the investment side of things. So essentially we run accelerator programs for our corporate clients.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I just arrived here from Los Angeles. I'm an entrepreneur. I focus, my whole professional career has been just in startups. I have scaled 3 startups now. I'm joining another startup here in London.
One of them even offered a free service in terms of capital raising. So it's essentially one of the investors who came had his own software as a service company that essentially allows me to send pitch decks to a lot of investors. So he offered like a free subscription to his platform called the Capital Pilot.
Morning everybody, I'm Richard Blakesley. Capital Pilot is my 13th startup. The previous 12 weren't all successful. That's kind of how it goes. So I've been in your position many, many times before. Fundraising is such a pain. It takes up such an enormous amount of time, and our platform is about trying to make it easier.
Being here and being in this different atmosphere is very inspiring.
I think that I changed enough to move and influence more people around me.
Here, you do things that you want to do. Here, you meet people with whom you'd like to meet. And I think this is a really welcome change for me personally and for our company in general.
That competition still represents for me a drastic change in a good way.
In just 8 weeks for our pitching matches, we traveled to London, to Malmo, to Turin, to Valencia, to Salzburg, and even Sevan in Armenia. We were really fed up with traveling. We were like, okay, I can't see another flight anymore. Then, since I think when all this started and we couldn't travel anymore, we were like, okay, when can we travel again?
There are a lot of people now that are spreading the word about the festival, and obviously there is a lot of things to do here, you know, how much.
Never ending, yeah. Welcome to the second European Startup Festival. Adriana and I are super excited that you're here, and we know that the program over the next 2 days.
Umberto told us, why don't you give another name to the association, not the European Startup Association or European Startup Festival, but Two People European Startup Festival.
Two friends doing something.
Yeah.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17 investors. So some of them will come tonight for the dinner as well. Let me see. The biggest concern is that not enough participants come. That's the only thing. I don't think anything else can go wrong.
No, for what?
Because going wrong is not the right thing. Maybe we have to be flexible and adjust things. Just put into hospital this second, and he couldn't tell us yesterday, when he was supposed to take his flight yesterday. He's filming me now because I'm enraged. Thank you for your time, because we appreciate that you might have been told this morning about this. We were planning that for 4 months, but it's the way it is. And we appreciate that there's other priorities for event organizers, because we know what it's like. So maybe just super quickly what we do, so that you actually know who we are and why we're doing this.
One thing is talk about, one thing is act. And as we are a startup, we know that acting is the most relevant way to do things, to make things happen.
Not just surveys online and this and that, but also what I always tell everyone I'm working with, you have to talk to the people that you're targeting. And we learned a lot of what they need.
Every startup has different needs, but our main intention is to give them values.
We learned a lot about people, about cities, about what not to do, about what's most important to us as values, and what we also expect from our partners to match these values.
I'm Pascal Levinson, venture capitalist from San Francisco. I am the founder of Levinson Venture Partners and am the managing director of Dolby Family Ventures.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ogilvie, and I work with Silicon Castles as strategic marketing advisor.
Hello, my name is Andreas Spechtler. I'm the founder and CEO of Silicon Castles. I will be on a couple of panels to talk about how the European ecosystem works and what can be improved. And then I will do a very specific masterclass. So we will talk about strategy, sales, go-to-market, storytelling, a wide range of topics, but we will try to cover this in a couple of hours.
What has been your worst experience in sales? Not the best, the worst. what has happened to you, what really threw you out of your shoes and you were, wow, and this happened, and then what did you do?
No one tells a better story than Shakespeare. And basically, if you look at it, there are only 3 or 4 plots in the world. You need a great hero or a heroine and a good plot. And the hero or heroine, when you're writing a corporate narrative, is you and the company. You've got to have conflict. You've got to have solutions, villains and drama, all this. And you think maybe, well, how does this apply to me with my startup doing seaweed? Believe me, it does.
This has been the experience that we never had before.
Yeah.
Well, I've never had it before.
Yeah, never in my professional life.
It's quite good that we failed here. We had the applications were online for 3 months. We even extended the deadline for a bit. Then we need to look through them. You need to look through and make decisions who can come. It's not professional for us, and it's not how we want to.
But also because we don't want to push people to to be with us in this project.
If they don't want to, then don't.
But you need people that is committed at the end. Also.
Yeah, really.
And people who deliver what they say. So if they say we're going to be there at 8:30 on that day, that's okay. One of the startups said, "Oh yeah, we said yes, but we can only come at 5 o'clock in the afternoon." And then it's no wonder that no one can come, because we tell them 4 days before the event, so you can come now to the event.
Better to understand it now than to postpone the problem, because once we will know the real problem here in Valencia, you cannot cancel all.
Yeah.
And so, okay, good. Let's go on.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Good luck. And timekeeper, when the alarm goes off, you need to stop. And when you're finished with everything, please come back upstairs. Thank you. Good luck. Well, what we've learned in our long journey that we described as well is that by doing it the way other people do things, aka, for example, pitching matches, we learned it's not really the thing to do for us and for having a better impact and for also getting better results. We take the time to talk to every single member to understand this and to not have a one-size-fits-all, but an individually structured support system where we look what the investor wants, what the startup's looking for, and match them without pitching, knowing that they probably will work together.
This is the mission, the destination is there.
How do you maximize the resources you have available to you, put them in the right positions?
We are developing an artificial intelligence store assistant, which is able to basically help you discover your customer much more.
I totally believe in that 80-20 rule. If you get 80% of it is ready, that is the new perfect.
We really want to see both people with strong tech backgrounds as well as business and marketing.
So at the festival we didn't have open pitching matches or something. We were looking and talking to the startups and then put them in a room with investors that we think would match, and also talk to the investors beforehand if they would actually want to see them.
At the end, we found our format, and we found the way we thought it was the best way to promote entrepreneurship in Europe.
The first step, the clue, is in the title, Start.
Did you read the brief?
They better say yes. So this room is laid out for like 200 people to hold at a time. And I would expect 150 to 200 maybe to be here at the same time. Because people go in and out, network, go to masterclass, go to the panel, talk to people, have lunch and stuff like this. Sanderson Jones, our host, who's a British comedian, he looks like Jesus and he's very tall, so you can't miss him. He's very funny, he owns some startups. So he knows what he's talking about, which is great.
I've never been in. I spent hardly any time in Sweden. My desire to enjoy Malmo as much as possible runs into my desire to be a semi-decent parent. 3 weeks I've had a little boy. It's been very exciting. As was typing one-handed on a PowerPoint today, holding him in my arms. I don't know if that's good parenting or bad parenting. I don't want to give him too much stuff to talk to about his therapist now. Wait a few years, you know?
You've been with us also last time in Turin.
Tell me, is there anything, what's changed this year?
Yes. This year we will have a rapper.
Okay, great, thank goodness. When I think back to last year, the one thing that was really missing was a rapper. I was like, that's what this event needs. I think that even if your startup ends up being the most successful startup in the world, there'll be loads and loads of things which didn't work. And there'll been times you thought it was all going to end, so that's in the best case scenario. All startups, it's like in environments like this, it's about the connections. Just go out there and get to know people. So welcome to the European Startup Festival in Malmo, where there will be learning and getting inspired, and it is all dedicated to like all the different parts of the startup ecosystem. Who here sort of runs or is involved in an incubator sort of thing? Oh, Christ. I don't know if there's just not very many of them or they're just done. If I have to hear another person say it's like Uber for... It's like Uber for cats. Oh, yes. That's it. And obviously, we're not just doing Uber for cats. We're using Uber for cats, but with a specific technology, which is blockchain. Oh. So please put your hands together for Alex Chisnell, Umesh Kumar, David Bell, Alyssa Lindo. What is one insight that you think is really important in the world of marketing startups? What is the thing which you think is there a sort of dirty secret in startup ecosystems?
My tip, so unsurprisingly, probably given my journey with podcasting, is to document your journey.
Every entrepreneur that you look at today that's doing business at a high level can trace their entire success story back to a single person.
There's a phrase in English which probably doesn't translate, but that is that you have to kiss a lot of frogs. And I don't mean French people. I mean, you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince.
What would you guys say that is like lessons from sustainability which can help any startup, not just one with a sustainability lens?
Big questions you're asking today.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, what's your favorite food?
So if you have a good plan on how you want to deploy money, if you have like a mission that you want to execute on, then it's also easier to find people to buy into your story.
Everybody wants to raise $1 million in equity, but do you need to?
So this is a very interesting challenge for you as entrepreneurs as you think about where you are today, where you want to be in the future. It means that you have to architect every word that you say to engage, enroll, and inspire this kind of a person every chance you get. So in a networking event like this, every conversation is critical.
You know, the idea is only like 1%, and 99% is going to be perspiration. So then the problem is like, the next step then is that you need to build a team who works as well as like the best hospital teams in the world. And then the next thing you need to do is like, you need to have technology like a space agency. You need to be like cutting edge, knowing what you're doing on tech sites, on many startups, not everybody, but you probably need to have strong tech chops. And then lastly, you need to be fundraising like a goddamn prophet.
You're working in the transport sector. If you're only reading transport news, it's very hard for you to solve the biggest problems in transport. So that's my first call to you, is diversify your armory.
We are all going to mistake at some point. So then ask yourselves, why don't we learn how to mistake elegantly? Come on.
We had plenty of nice moments during our travels, but during the festival, if I have to choose a moment in the festival, maybe when Sanders and Jones opened the festival, I think.
Yeah, that was Sanders and Jones, super funny, but also the magician that we had. It's a lot of laughter there. But what about the song of Alex?
Yeah, well, how was the song? Yes. Right.
We are the eggs, we are the chickens, we are the ones to innovate. So let's start changing.
Intros. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? We all want to know and find out. Some say the egg, others say the chicken, and there's those that say the dinosaurs. We are the eggs, we are the chickens, we are the ones who have to innovate, so let's start changing. There's a choice we're making, sacrificing our own lives to make an innovative change for you and me. European Startup Festival is here to help you see it all. How now, do you need a new approach? Is there a customer you're not thinking of? Or a service that you can bring that we all need? We are the eggs, we are the chickens, we are the ones who have to innovate, so let's start changing. There's a choice we're making, sacrificing our own lives to make an innovative change for you and me. It's done. It's done. It's in your head.